Hello and welcome to the BK Arts channel, where you always feel inspired through art. In this platform, I draw and paint to inspire, teach and make the world a beautiful place using art. So today I'm going to share with you a tutorial of how I drew using colored pencil. So this is the portrait that we are going to draw. I'm drawing using the grid lines. If you don't have an idea of how to draw with the grid lines, I'll share a link below and you can watch that video as well. So here we start with the eyes, which is one of the most critical parts in a human face. So as the baseline, I use the tan color, which is a shade of brown. Yeah, for it depends on the skin type that you are dealing with. So I started with the tan color, yes, and then I added a bit of orange depending on the saturation and the vibrance that is on the real picture. So this is how it looks like, and make sure you shade it gently. Yeah, I hope you remember, or if you haven't yet watched my another video that I created on how to create perfect shades using colored pencils. I'll share the link in the description. Yeah, so there are just some of the tips that I shared there, like choosing the right tools, the basic techniques that you need to know, the blending techniques, creating smooth transitions, practicing blending colors, adding depth and dimension, and advanced techniques. Yeah, so after this, when I'm shading with the Pelikan colored pencil and the brown shades, I take care of the light and shades, and I make sure that the blendings are smooth. I use hatching, cross hatching and the scribbling technique. Hatching and cross hatching are basically for just creating the baseline, yeah, and the normal shades. And then we have the scribbling. The scribbling, for me, I can use there's a specific type of pencil that I use for scribbling, or you can just use the normal ones depending on the strength that you're applying. Yeah, so for scribbling, it's for blending purposes. So when you blend with a certain type of pencil, which is a bit of a hardcore and a lower quality than the one I'm using, it's a bit hard, so that it can make the skin look smooth and realistic, and make sure it is not smooth enough not to look like a skin. Yeah, and then I go to the nose. The nose, it had some patches of light striking on some sides of this part of the nose. Yeah, and also as you are applying the shades of brown and taking care of the lighter and the darker parts, you shade it gently to make sure it works. Take your time when shading, and I repeat, take your time, because it is necessary for the picture to look the way you want it to look like. Yeah, so as I shade with the brown, the necessary color that you need for this type of skin tone, it depends on the type of skin tone that you want to achieve. Yeah, so your practice will make it more efficient when you learn how to use colored pencils. The lips, it always has some patches of the tan color. It has some brown, it has some pinky outlines, and also some purple and maroon. So you make sure you know how to blend all those colors in one, so that it appears the way you want it to be. Especially here I'm talking when you have less colored pencil. It is good for practice, because it will make you master how to use colors, and master the color wheel and how to mix those colors and get the color that you want. So as you said, every part using the brown color technique. And also I wanted you to note that the colors that I'm using here is called the Faber Castell Buntstifte, and which is a 24 colored pencil pack, and the Pelikan colored pencil Buntstifte. Yeah, so you have your own choices of colors that you use, provided you master the coloring technique. Yeah, so after this, putting the baseline, I just add top the shades of brown, a more vibrant and a more thick shade of brown depending on the skin tone, and also taking care of the dark parts that I'm using, and also make sure that I blend it nicely and I variate the strength that I'm applying when drawing this. Yeah, so it is just a step-by-step thing. And as you shade, the pencil that I'm shading for blending is to make sure that it looks fine. It looks fine the way I see it in the portrait. So you draw what you see. That's the goal. You draw what you see. Whatever is on the picture, you just apply it in the drawing. Yeah, that's the secret of drawing a realistic picture. Yeah, so after being done with the skin tones and the face appearance, I go to the hair. The hair is also one of the technical parts when drawing a human face. So I use the scribbling technique mostly here because the hair has the curls. Yeah, and also variating the strength that I am applying so as to differentiate between the light and the darker parts to make it more realistic. So it's both gentle and rough shadings. You apply both and variate so that it looks exactly the way you want it to be. And so there are also the parts of skin that are included in the hair, yeah, as you see in the portrait. So it is a step-by-step process. I'll be sharing later on how to draw each part of the human face. That's including the eye, the ears, the mouth, the nose, the skin, and so on. So, and you see these are dreadlocks, and it has some patches of some other color like the golden, the orange type, and the brown. Yeah, so you make sure you apply that, and also the light effects and the shadows of the hair. It was very interesting, and I chose to draw this because of how it looks like, and also some technical parts that made me choose this picture. Yeah, and you see the shadow when the light strikes an object, as maybe in front of the eye or in front of the face, it has to have a shadow, and you have to show it depending on where the light strikes it from. Now, after making layers of the hairline of the scribbled hair, I add another layer using the ball pen. The ball pen techniques and using the ball pen is just good so as to add vibrance and make it look more attractive. Yeah, and it adds more details because a ball pen is always fine. It always has a bit of a very interesting shade of black and very bright, vibrant. So this is how the face portrait looks like. You can comment on how it looks like. Yeah, so, and all this is after you have mastered the principles and the elements of art. You just don't read them, you apply them. Yeah, so after this I go to the clothing part, which has more colors. It has a variety of colors such as the blue, the lights, the shades of blue, the shades of pink, the shades of a bit purplish, and the blue, and all that. So I have to shade it gently and taking care of the lighter and the darker parts, yeah, depending on how the light strikes. So it is very important to take note of that. Yeah, here I suggest you take as much time as possible to study the color wheel. Yeah, there is a video that I shared a while back about the principles and elements of art. I will share the link in the description so that you can follow up and know how the color wheel works and all that. I'll suggest you practice as many times as you can and take your time. You maintain and practice. Practice makes improvement. And so this is my final artwork. How does it look like? What did you learn? You can share your comments in the comment section below and say a word or two And if you you can make suggestion of other videos that I should do to make it worth it. So thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.